Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Android App Addicts, episode 504. This is the show where we talk about Android apps, Android hardware. What is that game? The Switch game or whatever else happens to cross our minds, especially the awesomeness that is the shirt that Door is wearing tonight. He just set up where I can see it for the first time. Han Solo shooting first. That's it. My name is Mark, sometimes known as the Sultan of the Soapbox Cockrell. And joining me this week are the people you're really here to hear from, the DoorToDoorGeek, Steve McLaughlin, and Eric, the executive Ardini. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, Mark. Just manager's fine. I don't need to be the executive. I'm a little nervous, actually. I was almost late to the... Huh?
You got the tie on. I had to...
Because I came straight from work because it was a late night. And they had me leave the room and discussed me for way longer than I thought was appropriate. So I don't know if it's good or bad. We'll find out.
I'll just say I kind of got you beat, Eric.
Yeah.
Well, first off, the show Han Solo, the shirt. There's a whole like grammar Nazi type movement where they're saying it isn't that Han shot first. Han's the only one that shot, so there's no first. Han shot. I don't know. They're crazy. But I have you beat, Eric. I had my yearly evaluation. I've done it now 20 times. So as soon as I sit down for the beginning of the eval, I just flip to the back page, sign and date it, close it. And then he goes off telling me how I did this one amazing thing that no one else could have done. And I did it magnificently and magically and expertly. And then he went for 20 minutes telling me how much everyone hates me. No one wants to work with me. And I'm a jerk. And I'm rude. And then he never told me what my evaluation rank was for the year.
Now, you're supposed to do the sandwich. You're supposed to do good thing, bad thing, good thing. So he left you with an open face sandwich.
I just thought to myself, you should get a paycheck in 2 weeks. So let's just leave it at that.
Well, at least you don't really have to work to improve on those items because you weren't told to.
I'm just going to say this. They're having me pivot or transition or whatever the word is to be a SharePoint developer / administrator.
Oh, that sounds like a great time for you.
I seriously considered slitting my wrist.
Are you still in purgatory?
I'm now in a server closet. I don't know if that's any better.
Are you by yourself?
I am, but it always hums. And I've had 2 people already complain saying that I don't deserve a door.
Oh, they don't want you to be alone in your closet?
They don't think
they're concerned about your overheating or something.
It's freezing cold in the room, Eric.
Oxygen levels.
I don't know. I'm just doing work. I'm just trying to continuously get paid so my wife doesn't stab me in my sleep.
So what is SharePoint? Basically, like your own cloud, but bigger and worse.
Okay.
SharePoint is Moodle.
Yeah, well,
terrible.
It is Microsoft's attempt at a content management system with file repository baked in. It is maybe the worst piece of Microsoft software I think I've ever had the pleasure of dealing with. I'm sure there's a way to make it work better, and I'm sure I'm going to have to figure it out.
You take Google Docs, you remove all of the useful features, and charge $10,000 per year per user, and you have SharePoint.
Wow, the chat room's even shouting about this one. So many things you can do that aren't worth time to set up. And you spend most of your time setting up these things, and by the time you get close to finishing them, they've scrapped the project and moved on to something else. It's been around since like 2003, and Brantley originally set it up because it's a private cloud for syncing OneNote. OneNote is that program that I've tried maybe a dozen times to use and always never making it happen. Yeah, okay. So it's like OwnCloud but dumb.
One part of my job is we go on site with clients and we train them, and we roll out the new product for them, and we spend a couple of weeks working closely with these people, and I'm at the point now in my job where I'm the guy setting that schedule, deciding who goes to where, and and I have to consider things like mileage, who lives closest, because the company's got to pay the miles, that sort of stuff. And I set up the schedule for May today, and I was reviewing it with one of the manager type people, and I said, I'm not there. I'm not in any of those. I haven't assigned myself because I'm not entirely sure that me being on site is a good thing for the company. And her response was, well, there are always strong feelings. And that was the whole sentence. So, Dora,
Wow.
I feel your pain.
Well, I mean, life is pain. It just reminds me that this is not a dream. This is real life. It's like anything else. I'm going to do everything in my power to make it the best it can possibly be, and I can't wait for its death and demise.
There you go, too. So are you teaching them how to use OneNote? Because you can send one of your sherbs over to me and teach me one of these days. That's fine, Mark.
Yeah. No, I do have a rather extensive OneNote set up for my team, and I am the one who uses it, and everybody else is, it's there. They're aware of its existence. But anyway.
So you would teach somebody that one?
It is fine for what it's good for. Honestly, Google Docs is way better. But since Google Docs is feared by every IT person in the world, you have to use OneNote instead.
Including you?
I'm no longer an admin, so I don't count.
Yeah. All right. Well,
there you go. Happy Easter, guys. We first show since Easter.
I had 500 eggs hidden in the yard, and about 20 kids to find them.
And they can do that. 20 kids can find 500 eggs, but when you ask them to go find your shoes because you're ready to go, not something they're capable of doing.
I found 2 on my own after the festivities were over, so they weren't that good. They found 498 of them.
There are 5 people in my family: my wife, myself, 3 daughters, the oldest of which is 15, 13, and 9. And we're kind of past the egg dying phase for the most part. Care to guess how many eggs we died?
None.
That sounds like a trap.
If you said you're past the phase, I'd say 0.
But then I'll say 36.
Yeah. No. 78 eggs.
Whoa.
Because we don't do anything halfway in my house.
I didn't die. We didn't die any eggs.
6.5 dozen eggs. 5 people. Do the math on that.
Wow. Once you switch over to the egg cooker that Dora and I use, there's no more dying eggs because the dye will go right in that hole and just taint your whole egg.
So I've got eggs pickling in the refrigerator right now. We've had egg salad like 4 times in the last couple of days. My wife she just bought eggs. She just kept loading them into the cart. It was like I don't know, like she was some sort of OCD loop. She wasn't able to stop loading eggs, and then we got them all home, and like, well, they're all going to go bad in a little while. We have to do something with them. So yeah, we boiled like every egg in the house, 6.5 dozen eggs.
Well, when you're buying that many eggs and it costs the same as one 18-pack did 3 years ago,
good point.
You can't afford not to buy that many eggs.
So if
go broke,
save
money.
You want to come to my house. That's
So how many packages of Pa's Easter egg things did you buy and gallons of vinegar to get this done?
Just the one. It's amazing how many eggs you can do with one of those little $3 kits.
Huh. Man, that hexagonal dipper, the little brass kind of dipper, that thing's classic. Hexagon.
We have saved every one of those we've ever bought. So at this point, we have like 17 of them.
Oh yeah, you guys are egg preppers. Yeah. You're ready. If it happens, man, you guys are ready to dip some eggs.
Anyway, anything else we'd like to talk about other than Easter and before we get to the apps?
I got there was some neat hardware news, and Dora's going to talk about something first.
What kind of hardware news?
Well, it's the Android app just came out for the Motive fitness heart rate and sleep tracker ring. So if you don't want to buy a smartwatch, you just wear this ring and get all of your feedback that you need for your health.
Because the 1.5-inch screen is too big.
Yeah, no screen is better. Just use your phone screen. You got a 5-inch screen at least in your pocket. Use that one and get all your information.
$200.
Well, it's sleek and subtle.
Hey, they're smoking crack.
It has no display. It just tracks your movements and your heart rate. That's it. So it's essentially the dumbest Fitbit ever, but small.
Not all Fitbits do your heart rate.
Well,
You got to
fair.
buy the HR version.
And people say we're in a recession. I think not.
This guy's got, on the front page, he's got like $3,000 worth of tattoos along with his, $200 watch or $300 watch or ring.
See,
I wonder if he's got the same ring in his ear.
Here's the real reason why this will not be successful. It isn't flashy enough. How are we supposed to know when a Kardashian is wearing one?
I don't know. If it was cheaper, I'd be down for that. I wear a very plain, stainless steel ring I got off of Amazon Review Trader for like 10 cents. That's my wedding band now. I would, I'd feel more comfortable wearing that ring than the watch, I think. And my watch doesn't do heart rate. Does your watch do heart rate, Mark?
Yes, my watch does, and the Fitbit that my company makes me wear does.
Sleep tracker.
You got two on the same wrist or one on each arm?
On each.
Heart rate, sleep tracker, fitness. I'm into fitness. Fitting all these eggs into my mouth. That's about it.
Fitness dozen eggs in my mouth.
Yeah.
No, I work for a hospital system. They want happy employees, healthy employees. When your IT staff for a hospital is me, that's kind of it's a PR negative at that point. So they gave everybody in the company a Fitbit, and if you track your food, your sleep, and at least 3,000 steps a day, they put money into a health incentive account, something like that. Basically, it's a debit card that I can use for dentist stuff, and so I'm happy to be a slave to the man so that I can get free copays.
Well, that's pretty cool. We did our wellness thing a little different. We got a big pool of money back from our insurance company, so we let the departments decide what they wanted to spend it on for their department, like a treadmill and water bottles being delivered to their place or whatever. So our office is we're getting the ball chairs.
Nice.
Now I got a question.
Ball currently.
Yes. Can you raise them up and down?
By putting more or less air in it.
That's it. Okay. I didn't know if there was like rings you had to add, like when you're setting a manhole cover.
Yeah, I am too cheap to buy the actual chair. I am just sitting on a ball.
Oh, just a straight ball.
Yeah, there's no back, no wheelbase, none of that. Because the ball was like $18. The chair is $100-ish.
Okay. We're getting the chairs for like 80. So they're the Guyam brand, I think. So if you have any standing on that and you want to warn me before I make the purchase, let me know.
No, I bought my own. So when I'm spending my money, it's the $30. If I'm spending the company's money, throw in the $100 one.
So is yours just an exercise ball you're sitting on?
Just a ball. Yep.
It's
72 centimeters. Excuse me. Yeah.
So it's made for exercise room, not for being chair. Okay. Right.
Yeah. The problem is, I'm tall, so I have to have a tall ball. And being that it is a ball, it is the same dimensions all the way around. So it barely fits in my cube at work because, I need a giant ball. With the ball chairs, you can use a much smaller ball because you're lifted up off the ground. You're on the wheelbase. So
yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Dor, you got any hardware news?
Not hardware per se, but I did put a link in the chat to a link. mglow.github.io/fuchsia. What this is Fuchsia operating system compiled and running inside of the browser. So
wow.
if you launch the page, hit the plus on the bottom right, then hit guest, because I believe the other things do not work. It launches a basic, I don't want to say pretend interface, but an interface to how Fuchsia would look, act, and react kind of thing. Technically, I would say this is like a proof of concept, just showing that what they have, the code is runnable.
I don't actually do anything.
You can try the ask anything, and I. Oh,
So you can Google in a web page. All right, that's new.
Yeah. Here's the way I put it. This code base is one of three things. This is the future mobile operating system, and when they decide that, they're basically going to unlicense everyone from using Android and force everyone to use Fuchsia, which might happen in a year, might happen in 10 years. Or it's the future laptop Chromebook OS. Or it turns out to be nothing.
So you guys talked about it on the Mini PC show, and it's been talked about elsewhere. I'm having a really hard time caring about the Chrome OS tablet. It seems like the least likely thing to run a tablet, OS to run on a tablet.
I'm not going to argue. What I will say is, after giving it some thought, here's the only logic I can come up with. Android tablets were not successful, period. This is just another attempt to make a tablet a popular device. I don't think it's going to be successful, but I think that they're just basically throwing stuff against the wall, seeing what sticks, seeing if this can grab any kind of market share is the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, the Android tablets are fine, but I think everybody who wants a tablet has one now. And introducing a new OS, a new cheap tablet, I just don't get it.
I would be just fine with a new Android Nexus tablet right now. I mean, I'd like that. I'm still using a Nexus 7.
I'm fairly sure you're both in the minority. I think a huge percentage of people out there who did buy a tablet, played with it, then sat it down, never touched it again. I have no problem saying I owned at least 7 different tablets, from the HP touchpad, the Dell Streak, the first Amazon Kindle tablet. Too many to name, way too many to name. They all suffered from the same usability problem, is the way I put it. I don't think putting Chrome OS on it is going to solve the usability issue. I don't know what would. If I did, I'd be a millionaire by now. I don't know what it's going to take to have a tablet form factor a truly desirable product for the masses.
Well, you know what tablets are good for? iPads, in any tablet, is really good for the things that a paper tablet was good for, or a book was good for. Pretty much every stage musician has a tablet on his stand these days, because that's where your music, that's where your chord charts are. Readers have tablets. Anything that you used to use in a book, you can do in a tablet. But like I said earlier, I think everybody who has a tablet, wants a tablet, has one. There's fine tablets out there, but to try to make them the primary computing platform, that's where people are just wrong. I mean, maybe we'll be there at some point, but the world just isn't there yet. Your soccer mom, maybe, who's doing nothing but Facebook and ordering things off the Walmart app. But for the general public, it's just not a platform for primary computing. It's just not there. But I think it serves a market. I don't think they're going away anytime soon. I think in 15 years, we'll still be able to pick up a tablet, a 10-inch tablet, whether it's Apple or Android or Fuchsia or whatever it is. I don't think they're going away, but they're just not going to be the smash hit everybody hoped they would be.
Yeah, I just don't like the cheap tablets, and this Acer one doesn't seem like fit the bill. I'd want one, again, made by Asus and Google branded, have guaranteed updates for a few years, like they used to do it. That's what it's gonna take for me to buy another tablet, I think.
My favorite mid-range tablets are still made by LG. The LG Tab series. They're good. They're good, solid mid-range tablets.
You know, Moses had the first tablet
Yeah.
that was downloading data from the cloud.
Yeah, I'll say the only plus to the Chrome OS tablet is you can run Android apps on it. Maybe. The one thing Brantley says in the chat, which I will agree with, having the Android inside the Chrome OS, I do think has a better default security model. Because if you're doing things in the browser, then you launch an Android app, more than likely the Android app will not have access to your browser history, your browser data. So,
which was supposed to be the design of Android OS. And over time, usability trumped security. There's no reason to think that the same thing won't happen on the Chrome OS.
I guess.
Maybe. I still haven't been hacked. I haven't had a virus yet. So, and on Chrome or Android. So I'm okay so far.
That you know of.
But I don't really get viruses on my Windows machine though either. So, or the Linux box I'm using. I've
been a heavy computer user since 1987, and I've had 2 viruses. One was the MS Blaster worm that was back in the days before hardware firewalls in the home. As soon as I turned on a brand new laptop, I got infected. And the other one was the I Love You virus that I downloaded intentionally and put on a machine on my bench so I could dissect it and see what it did. That's the only 2 times I've had any interactions with viruses in all those years. I just think viruses are much ado about nothing for most people.
The vulnerable people get them. I think just carelessness, no regard for any type of common sense is what gets you a virus in real life and in the computer world.
Good point. They just need to invent like a tablet condom and then problem solved.
Yeah. It's called well, I've got something. Can I bring my first app?
Oh, please.
Here we go.
I got something just for you. This app is called Reboot, Overcome Porn. This is a self-help app that will gently guide you away from pornography. It explains why you should go away from pornography and helps you find ways to do it. And it's a coach along your journey to freeing your mind from nastiness. It comes with a free 20-day trial. If you're not porn free in 20 days, then you got to pay for it. I've installed it just as a test model. I have not paid. Reliably informed that no. There's a lot of information about pornography and the effects it can have on your brain, and studies and things in here. And they've got little challenges, suggestions. You can check in every now and then. If you're there's a help button if you're really feeling frisky all of a sudden. You got to keep yourself from hitting the wwws in a private browser. I don't know. It's just there for any of our listeners who may need to use it, I guess.
Because of my nature as an entertainer, I am wont to make jokes about this, but this is a serious thing. I mean, porn doesn't just ruin marriages, it ruins lives. And if this can help somebody, awesome. And mad props to the people posting reviews with their real names. Just going to say that. That's awesome. And everybody seems to like it. So, I mean, whatever it does, it seems to, at least at first blush, everybody's giving it very high marks.
E for everyone, 4.6 average reviews, 869 total reviews, and it's been installed 50,000 or more times.
Bilal Rahmani says, hello, please add some more things and options to overcome porn very fast. So he's in a hurry.
It's weird that the name of the company is in Bothell, Washington, where it's so close to the word brothel. Well, I guess that's not
How did
porn
you come
though.
across this, Eric? If that's not too personal a question, what made you think, hey, let's see if there's an app?
I get my apps from a variety of sources, and this was in the feed.
You know, and there have been a lot of studies over the years about porn addiction, and it affects the brain in much the same way as an addictive chemical does. The dopamine receptors, the pleasure center, the whole bit. And just like most and everything, you need harder and more aggressive as you go along. It's a real thing. It's a real addiction.
Yeah, it said exactly those things in the app. You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe, did you know about this app?
Well, my early training was as a pastoral counselor, so I've sadly more experience in this than I'd like.
Yeah, so you might come across some effects of porn addictions in that line of work.
I have seen marriages torn asunder by such things. Or you're surprisingly quiet about this app.
Yep. Because I don't want to be sarcastic. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I know. It's a third rail kind of thing. You don't really want to.
Yeah, and I'll just say, speaking for myself, I am Irish. The one thing the Irish have a problem with, it's addictions. Okay. I've seen my family have all kinds of issues, whether it be heroin, beer, whatever in my family tree. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff. One of the things I realized when I was younger was it doesn't have to have a chemical nature to become addictive. Being hooked on something is a state of mind. Realizing that at a younger age, I would say literally probably like 8 or 10 years old, I've tried to purposefully limit myself on anything that I find could be addictive, even video games. The only thing I'm not really limiting myself on is podcast. I'm up to 150 podcast. And if there is a detrimental side effect, well, maybe in 20 years it'll surface, but for now, I guess I'm okay. But if you have a problem, number one, get rid of your phone.
Or use the Podcast Addict app for listening to them.
Get a feature phone, get rid of your smartphone, because 90% of web browsing, or 80-something% of all web browsing in the last year has been on mobile phones. So if you have a problem with it, number one, make it not something you can just pull out of your pocket and take care of, is my logic. I don't know.
I live in a metropolitan area. I see phones mounted to dashboards in traffic with porn playing on them. I see guys in the parking lot, at restaurants or outside office buildings, clearly on their lunch break or whatever. I mean, this is a persistent recreational activity for regular white collar folks. It just is. Anyway, nice app, Eric. I hope it's helpful to somebody, honestly.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Door, yours, please.
Thanks, Eric. I don't know how to possibly follow that up, but this app is called Coding Planets. Let me make sure we transition. Coding Planets by Min Zal. It's categorized as a puzzle application. Marked E for everyone, completely free to download, no in-app purchases, no ads, 1,090 reviews, 4.5 average reviews, 801 5-star reviews, updated November 18th, 2017, 100,000 plus installs, version 1.0. This is marked as a puzzle, but what this really is, as far as I can tell, it's teaching you some of the logics behind programming. Programming in a non-R environment, in a non-qubit environment, which is everybody today, there's very logical progressions, ifs, ors, ands, elses, cases inside of programming. And what this attempts to do, as far as I can tell, is teach you some of the basics, fundamentals on how to think logically, formaically, programmically, if you will. this is the kind of thing where I gave it to my oldest son. He played with it for about a day and a half, 2 days maybe, and he got the gist of it, and he was able to get things done in the application. He was able to, do the functions, do some of the basic functions and stuff, and he was successful. So now, unknown to him, he understands some of the basic tenements, philosophies, functions inside of programming and how it's done in a very abstract way is the key. There's no words, there's no coding. It's all pictures. But I thought it was cool.
Can you then like move them into like a Lego Mindstorm or something like that from here?
I'll say this, it's hard to say what the next step would be. Lego Mindstorm is hella expensive. So we ain't going Lego Mindstorms. I don't know, something else, but not Lego Mindstorms.
There's probably a few other apps that could take you to the next level or
There are
two.
lots of those basic go forward 3, turn left 3, go backward 2 things all over the web. Coding, I mean, Door's a coder. I'm a closet coder. Coding is just writing a recipe. It's a set of instructions that, if followed, will produce a given outcome. And we've sort of made it mystical in the early 70s, 80s, 90s. The coders were the guys, the IBM guys with the skinny ties and the short sleeves and the pocket protectors, and we've left that to the high priests of geekery. But I mean, I think we're going to live in a world very soon where everybody is going to have to be doing some sort of coding, some sort of programming, some sort of instructioning. And I think you have to learn at least these very basic steps. People tend to, more women than men, tend to conceptualize things. Like, how do you make an omelet? Well, you mix some eggs with some vegetables and you cook it. That's the conceptual thing. Really, it's take a pan out of the cabinet, put it on the stove, turn the burner on, add some oil. There's a lot of steps that people just conceptualize in the sense of cook some eggs. And we've, I don't know, maybe it's a survival thing. We, as a society, we've accepted that's the right way to do things. It's certainly the simplest thing. Like, we don't learn the steps of walking, we conceptualize it and then we do it. But the society will always need people who can see the steps in between. And I think you could never do your child a bigger favor than to teach them to see the steps in between.
I do see that they got Coding Planets 2 on the sidebar here in Google Play, so maybe that's a step away. Yeah, good point, Mark. I like your simile that it's a recipe.
I didn't catch that, Eric. Good, thank you. I'm gonna have to take a look at that one too. I will say I agree with you in short, Mark, but part of me believes we're going to turn into like Star Trek: The Next Generation, and we're going to be Geordi LaForge, where everyone around us has no idea how anything on the ship actually works. We're going to have a few people who actually know, and then we have everyone else who just uses.
And the computers will be writing their own code.
Do you think as people dip their toes into AI and also home automation, and maybe they try to figure out an Alexa skill or a if this and that or is that just us geeks who are doing that, where they might learn a little bit of programming, trying to program this neat little device they got in their kitchen to turn the light in the front room on and off? Or is that just us? That's probably just us.
Well, I'll say it harkens back to one of my core beliefs about computers in general. When someone tries to say a operating system is more intuitive than a different operating system, I think they absolutely have no idea what they're talking about, and they're completely confused. I think the honest to goodness truth is, if people see a need, a determining factor that they want to do something, they're going to figure it out. If people see it as not being something too difficult, I can see a lot more people dabbling in the beginning of understanding computers, basic programming, basic if type statements. And honestly, I do see a service like If This Then That, lowering the barrier to at least certain groups of people, but we are going to need a huge assortment more of tools that can do that kind of thing to give people, dare I say, the confidence that this is not rocket science whatsoever. This is basic logic gates.
Yeah.
To your point, Dory, we're always going to need a Georgia LaForge. So why not prepare your kids for that? Even if it's not, my vision is I think that it's going to be more widespread as more and more things need more and more input. But even if I'm wrong and you're right, and there's one guy that knows how to do it, prepare your kids to be that one guy.
Yeah.
I got one email. I'm going to save it. So Eric, back to you.
All right. I'm going to bring a game app, which is called Salt. It's SALT, Play Something New Everyday Beta from Salt Studios. I thought we did too, but did they change the name of it? I didn't find it in the spreadsheet.
I don't know. Now that I say it out loud, the icon doesn't look the same, so maybe no.
Okay, but it is by Tap Tap App, which if you look at the link that I put in the show notes, it's Tap Tap App, which I do remember that name as a developer, but this is by Salt Studios. So anyway, you get a different. Basically, it's a different, fairly simple game. Some of them are, they're good looking games though. A different game every day. So if you only have to have one game installed on your phone, like say your parents give you this rule, hey, you're gaming too much. You can only install one game on this phone. Just install this one, and then you'll have actually 365 games.
But what if you really like the game and you want to play it more than one day?
I got to figure that out because actually I installed this 2 days ago and I really liked yesterday's game much more than today's. I really enjoyed yesterday's game. And in fact, I thought the game I was playing yesterday was the game of Salt. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to bring this game to the show. And then I was like, oh, wait, I think this is that. It says Salt, but I think this is that everyday different game. And then, yeah, of course, when I pulled it up today, the game was nothing like the other one at all. Yesterday's game was a shooting game, kind of like a puzzle type game. It was like asteroids. It was like a endless shooter asteroids game. It was really fun. And then today's game, I'm kind of walking around in a dark dungeon with a flashlight, and I can only see a little bit around me. Like holding a lantern. And I haven't figured out exactly what I'm supposed to do. I just every time I see a shadow, I die. I don't know.
Yeah, there has to be a way to look at history. This is not the same game. I'll say that.
Okay.
Same premise, I'll say, but different game. Now, because this does say it's in beta, I don't believe the other one was in beta. Did I say beta? Why did I say
this
beta?
one's in beta. This one is.
Okay. So, if anything, the name it got sold, changed names, but looking at this, this does not look like what I remember.
So there's a button that says saved games. And when I hit it, okay, so if you really like a game, you purchase it.
Oh, there you go.
For $1.49.
So when
I hit saved games and it says no games purchased. That's genius, actually, because I'd probably pay $1.50 for yesterday's game, but I didn't know about that yesterday. So today's game, though, I would not buy. There's options. Yeah, I don't know. It was a nice game. I could turn the sound off, so I was happy about that too.
So I'd like to offer a follow-up review of the Flight Pilot game that Eric, I think you brought a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yes.
Downloaded it. I've been playing it a great deal. And like so many games, I have reached the point of grinding. I need this airplane to move on. It cost $4 million of in-game dollars, or I can spend $49.95 of real money to get it right now, or I can grind. So you're flying around, you're picking these missions, and the missions pay $80,000 each. I need to earn $4 million by doing $80,000 jobs.
You're not content with just flying around with 5-passenger airplanes?
It gets pretty boring, honestly. Yeah, that's why it's grinding. You know, I don't understand. I really don't why this is such a popular game metric. Mechanic. Every game at some point has a grind feature, and maybe that's so developers can tout number of hours spent playing their game. But I have just reached that point after. I play it every day. A few minutes a day. I've had it 2 weeks now. I'm a level 85 or whatever pilot. I'm flying like McDonnell Douglas DC-10, big planes. I've got a Learjet. That's probably the most fun one to fly. But at some point, it just becomes sitting there tilting your phone around, and I guess I've reached the point of where this game is just no longer fun for me. But I did get
you flew under the bridge, right? You got your achievement for that.
Oh yeah, I've done that. So I guess it was fine for what it is, but it's not a game that I'm going to do long term, because let's say I just really am into this and I pay the $50. Well, then I'm just going to level up, and the next thing is going to cost $75. Right?
No, I would never pay that. Like, it wouldn't be bad if they had a flight pilot 2 where you're suddenly upgraded into a rocket and now you're flying to Mars or something. Totally different mission, give you a big change in the game dynamic.
Of course, I can buy coins. I can buy 1 million coins for $70, $69.99. So I have 1.7 million. I need 4.2 to complete the next mission. So what's that? $175 to buy the gold? Yeah. So I've just reached that point where we're done.
Yeah, that's in the game world pay to win kind of thing. I don't want to say I detest grinding. Just let me pay up front for the game, and then just let me naturally discover all the different things in it, and then come to a natural conclusion to the game. Like Super Mario Brothers. Eventually, you get to Bowser, you beat him, the game's over. Games in my mind are supposed to end. They need to just have a successful ending to the game, and then, hey, look out for part 2.
So that's where my not a gamer comes in. I'm nowhere close to where Mark is on that game. I'm content to just look at this scenery and stuff when I'm flying around. I'm never gonna finish a game. I'll not, I'm just in it for the looks, really, for the graphics, power. I've been around since graphics sucked.
Well,
I like to see the new ones.
And just really quick, I don't remember the numbers when we brought the game up, but now Flight Pilot Simulator 3D free by Fun Games for free. 1,950,000 reviews on the game. 1,500,000 5-star reviews, 4.6 average reviews, 50 million plus installs. My goodness.
It's a well put together game.
It is a lot of fun trying to land an Airbus 333 on an aircraft carrier. Bigger than the aircraft carrier. That's fun.
How do you get the wings to even not take the tower down off of the side of the...
I haven't successfully done it yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I land on the pad, and then my wing clips the tower, and I blow up.
Like, you got to have good brakes, or... man. Yeah. Okay.
I just got to get the airspeed just right, and if you go too slow, you plummet into the ocean. So you've got to feather it just right, and the Airbus drives like a bus, and so there is some challenge there. But eventually, it's just tilting your phone. At some point, you're not impressed with the graphics anymore. It's not fun strafing the pyramid on top of the mountain anymore. You're just tilting your phone. That's where I am.
Well, thanks for giving it a try. I love your follow-up review. That's awesome.
All right, Mr. Door, what's your next app?
Okay, the next app I'm going to bring is a augmented reality app. Note to listener, Door ain't going to bring too many AR apps. In the last 3 weeks, I've seen literally 40 AR apps come across my stream, and virtually all of them completely, utterly, ridiculously suck. Right now, there's just a girth of AR types apps, but this one I found interesting, at least interesting. It's called Horizon Explorer ARCore by Aerosoft developer. Maps and navigation is the category. 16 reviews. 9 of them are 5 stars, average 4.2. Updated April 2nd, 2018, 1,000 installs, current version 1.1.6. If you watch the video to this app, I think it gives the best possible description of it. Essentially, you look through your viewfinder as if you're looking through a camera. The bottom, there's a like thumbnail of a map that you're looking at. And when you move your cursor up and down across the landscape, it then changes on the bottom map itself. So if there's a different in elevation, that's also taken into consideration. You can change your elevation on the side, so you can basically like float in the air kind of thing to see further than your horizon out, if you believe the Earth's round and everything. I just found this to be at least intriguing, interesting. I liked how it worked. I like how it ran. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing phenomenal. It's just the kind of thing I think people need to at least just see done on their own phone, because I think it's cool.
Anybody remember the Layer app? Layar.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was this sort of thing early on, but you hold your phone up and you point it at a building, and it tells you the name of the businesses in that building and what the average wait time is and that sort of thing. And I love that app, but apparently I was like the person in the world that used it at a at a time when I lived out in the country and there was nothing to point it at. Now that I've moved to the city, I had the app, but it has stopped working. I still had it on my phone, and now I can't even find it anymore in the store. Maybe it's still out there somewhere. But apparently it relied on like the restaurant to write its own stuff. And so there just wasn't any content. And I kind of wonder if this Horizon Explorer thing is going to be the same thing. It's great in the handful of places it has data. Or I guess if it's tied into Google Maps, everything has data, but I'm not really sure I get why it's better than Google Maps.
It's just a dynamic 3D view of Google Maps. It's street view without being locked in on streets, kind of. I mean, it's hard to say.
Are you looking? You're looking through your phone, right, at first, but then as soon as you change to see what's over the hill, you're just back to Google Satellite, right?
If you change your elevation, it artificially moves your horizon. If you change the topographical from being the natural to the Google Maps, then yes, you're looking at a very fake 3D Google Maps.
I keep scrolling through the pictures and I see the one that has the mountaintop inside of somebody's room. And I'm not sure if that's what's outside of that house that the person's in.
I have to believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's standing in the video, he's standing out on the balcony. He's looking through his camera. And so that's just using, again, Google Maps data, and then he changes it to the Google
Earth.
I mean, it's a novelty. That's all it'll ever be.
And honestly, the example I can give, the real world use case, is the exact same use case that you said the other app did, Mark. We were in the car. My wife was driving. My sister-in-law was in the car. The sister-in-law said, "That restaurant over there, I can't read this sign. What is it?" I literally pulled up the Google Maps. I hit the compass. We were put at the intersection. I went over there 45 degrees, zoomed in. I said, "Oh, you mean this?" She said, "Wow, your eyes are pretty good." I said, "No, I just have Google." So that's like a type of way it can be useful, and not much really more else than that. It's just I just thought it was an actual AR thing that had at least some function and not just a really bad game.
Yeah, it looks like the Layer app, or at least by the same name, I don't know if it's the same app, has pivoted to being one of those, like the wine bottle that Eric brought before. You bring print material to life. So it's a business to business kind of thing. Meh.
Dor, I wanted to bring a follow up on your app that you brought last week that kind of goes along with this. It was the What 3 Words app that you brought that I was I was enamored with, and I think we spent like an hour after the show of me just going through my 10 by 10 grid in my yard trying to figure out what oh, did I lock up for a while there?
No.
Okay. Trying to figure out what words were in my yard. So anyway, I installed an app, but I cannot for the life of me, and I don't have Appware Rabbit installed. I cannot find it anywhere again now, even on the internet. So it's called 3 Word Photo. Maybe I typed it in wrong.
THREE.
The number 3. 3 Word Photo, and it basically oh, there it is. First thing that comes up. Let me copy this. It takes your app, and what you can do is you can take a picture of something and it will geotag it with the 3 words that were there, with what it is, where you were at when you took that picture. So I can see this being good for like treasure hunting and things like that, where if you want to leave something for somebody, you could take a picture of a tree, they'll see those 3 words, and when they get there, all they gotta do, they'll know that's in that tree, whatever it is, legal or illegal, that's been hidden.
So you put the words, or it puts the words?
When you take a picture, it puts the words for you of where the picture was taken.
Yeah. Mark didn't listen to the last episode, so here's the gist of it. Mark, Google a couple years ago, and now Amazon both believe addressing the way it's currently done is not good. It's not smart. It's not the way everything should be done. They agreed upon it's actually a 4-word metric for every square 10-foot block in the world. So any given 10 by 10 foot square has a unique 3-word combination that can be translated to multiple languages. Each one of those walls of that has a 4th word connected to it, technically, kind of thing. So if you get a Amazon drone delivery or a Domino's pizza delivery automated to your house, you wouldn't give them your physical street address because that's too large of an area and not precise enough. You give the 3-word address, and it will then know with assuredly you come to this 10 by 10 by 10 foot region. And this app you take a picture of it, geolocates, points it out, and then puts that corresponding 3-word title to that location.
Do you understand that, Mark?
I understand it. I just don't get it.
It's beautiful. It blew my mind last week.
A dog. It says smile pictured walnut.
So
the dog's irrelevant.
Right.
Just where the dog's standing, the 3-word address of that location is smile pictured walnut.
They wanted to tell somebody exactly where that dog is.
Yeah. And for addressing's sake, if I want to tell somebody to deliver this to my backyard on my deck, and if everybody in the world tells a place that, we're not going to all use the same vernacular with the way that we say it, nor will it be the same distance from the street or a million other things, where if we give them a 3-word name, they'll be able to look and see this 10 by 10 foot area, go there, and then see right underneath it there's a deck.
And it's much easier for humans to remember 3 words than geospatial latitude and longitude numbers for where they really want it.
Okay.
If you think like a computer, it makes perfect sense, but we're not computers. So yes, it's weird.
But if there's a map on there, so you can go and just find the coolest 3-word combination in your yard, and then that's your yard. If you ever, hey, where do you live at? Oh, I live at Pickle Green Red. Oh, cool, man. I'll have to look that up on a map, see where you actually live at. And then you don't have to tell them town, zip code, none of that stuff.
That's the show. The world goes crazy and you don't notice. All right.
Well, I mean, it could be worse.
Has been worse. Wait, read an email before things do get worse. James says, I'm trying to locate a new Android phone. Now, this was 10 days ago, so it may have already done it, but we're still calling upon the wisdom of the crowd for future reference. I'm trying to locate a new Android phone for T-Mobile in the sub $200 range. I don't need the latest greatest. You're not going to get it for $200. Just micro SD card support and the ability to root. My phone died almost 2 weeks ago, just before visiting my mom after her surgery, and I'm suffering from withdrawal. And Door recommended the Moto E. I second that recommendation, or looking on Swappa for an old LG G6 or G5. What say you, audience, for future reference? What is the best as of spring 2018 sub $200 phone that works on GSM?
Or voicemail.
Or
707-6 Podnut.
Yeah, and what I should have said to James was, tell me your address. I'll send you an Asus Zenfone 3. Use that till it dies. Save up more money and buy a better phone. Because $200, you're going to be quite dissatisfied in a short amount of time with that phone.
If you can put 200 more with it, you can get a great phone for 400.
Oh yeah,
but 200.
top of the line.
Yeah.
Well, look at it this way, Mark. In 5 years, for $200, you'll get the best phone ever. Oh wait, no, that's the other way around. Things keep getting more expensive. Never mind.
Yeah.
Well, 5 years, you'll get for $200 the spring 2018 best phone.
Yeah.
It'll be spring 2023, but you'll get the 2018 best phone.
Wow, Ivor's in our chat tonight, and he recommends a Xiaomi.
My daughter has the Xiaomi Mi Band fitness tracker thing. $23. I bought it because of a recommendation here on the show, because of a companion app that goes with it. She has loved that thing now. It's better than my Fitbit, honestly.
Huh.
Worked with my company's app. I would wear that.
I was stressing so bad when you started saying that stuff, Mark. Oh man. I was afraid you're going to say how much big of a crap it was. I'm a fan of Xiaomi. I'm an insane fan of Xiaomi, and because of lobbyists, because of carriers, because of companies that already have lots of money in this country, Xiaomi will never be in this country. You have to buy it, third party or off of a website. They make really solid hardware. Huawei, Honor, Xiaomi, OnePlus, some of the best hardware you can get. In my opinion, far superior to most of the things you find in carrier stores.
Yeah, so that's the only experience I have with the company, Xiaomi. But if their phones are as good as that $23 fitness tracker, you buy it. Just buy it. All right, next app. I believe, Eric, it's your turn again.
I just did the
you did
3 words.
And the 3 words again. So, okay, back to Door.
Okay, really quick, I'll first say a follow-up, since where we're doing follow-ups. I installed PUBG on my GPD, Android GPD XD. Sorry, my GPD XD 32 gig, which is basically a Nintendo 3DS, one screen, pop it open, full controls, runs like friggin' butter, and I was smashing all kinds of people, just destroying them. And I can come down here, hook up my OTG to Ethernet cable, and get lightning fast network speeds So they didn't stand a chance. I was killing them. I was killing them. Oh, that was fun, but pointless because the game sucks, in my opinion. This game, however, I find completely different, and I find it fun, even though it's quite the violent game. I'm guessing it's pronounced Judge. JYDGE. Judge by 10 tons, 17 reviews, T for teen, $9.99 to buy. Google Opinion Rewards, here I come. Because now Google Opinion Rewards just had another update. They now support something like 16 countries. So it's not just in the US. You can, in lots of other countries, download this app and earn free money. 4.8 average reviews, 15 5-star reviews, updated March 29th, 2018, 34 megs in size, only 100 installs, current version 1.2.0.4. If you tag this item as your wish list, it will come down in price. It's just a question of when. This is a PC level game on Android. Top down, 3/4 view, tactical shooter is the best description I can give of it. Very flashy, very colorful, very fast. A little bit too fast, I'll say, but runs great on the GPD. I just had some basic fun playing it, but you know, I would say it's definitely a T for teen game, not a K for kid game.
Is it that you like top-down third person shooting games much more than first-person shooters?
I don't. The last first-person shooter game I liked was like 007 GoldenEye on N64.
So you played PUBG.
Yeah.
What don't you like about what's that? To me, was probably the best first-person shooter I've ever played on anything.
To me, there was nothing about it I really liked.
Huh.
I didn't like the art style. I didn't like the speed of it. I didn't like. I can't remember who mentioned this. It was on a Nintendo pod. Oh, I want to say it was Run Jump Stomp at Switch Craft podcast said the TTK, the time to kill in that game, is not good.
It takes a while.
No. Basically, as soon as somebody has you in their sights, they pull the trigger, you're dead. There's almost no coming back from that unless you work magic. But to get to that point takes forever. It's not a balanced game. It takes a while to get to the point to where you're going to die or kill, and then it's too quick. I don't like that mechanic in that game. He put it very apropos as far as I'm concerned. Switchcraft is the podcast. Check him out. Smart guy. This game, because I like the idea of I can take more than one shot and live and keep going kind of thing. I don't like insta deaths. I don't like perma deaths. I don't like any of that kind of rogue-like experience. And most first-person shooters seem like, you know, you're walking around, all of a sudden headshot, you're dead, and you know, all kinds of nefarious things happen to you that I don't want my kids to see.
My problem with first-person shooters is that all of them eventually devolve into you wandering around a map for 15 minutes looking for the MacGuffin. And you can't finish the level until you find the MacGuffin. Then you find the MacGuffin, and you got to remember where the door was, or the vase was, or the magic hammer was, or the mummy's tomb was. And then you get to go kill stuff again. So 10 minutes of killing stuff, 45 minutes of looking for a MacGuffin, 10 minutes of killing stuff. They're all that same game mechanic, and I hate it.
I hear you. I hear you there. And Fortnite's coming.
Yeah. No. Oh man, I can't remember it now. If you follow me on twitter.com/DoorToDoorGeek, I'll once in a while, very sparingly, tweet Switch games that are coming out. There was a flight battle game coming out where you're like all World War II British and Germans. You pick a side, fly in non-jet propelled planes, and shoot at each other. That looked like fun. But it has the long TTK because it isn't just one shot and your plane blows up.
Ivor's asking, what is a MacGuffin? Sorry, that's my film buff language. The MacGuffin is a plot device that serves no purpose but to move the plot forward. Like in Age of Ultron, the vibranium was the MacGuffin. In the Indiana Jones, the Ark is the MacGuffin. It doesn't actually do anything. It just moves the plot forward.
Oh, I was thinking the MacGuffin would be like a key or a gem.
In Doom, it's the key, right? And in Halo, it's the lever that you have to pull to release the thing. It's just a thing that serves no other purpose but to get you through where you are to the next thing.
Well, but the Ark of the Covenant killed the Nazis. No, wait, sorry. That was just a troll move. Sorry.
Just spoiler alert, nothing Indy does changes anything in that movie.
I know. That's the thing.
If he had done nothing, the Nazis still would have opened the Ark and still would have been killed. And he could have gone on vacation.
And that's the beauty of that movie. In hindsight, he fails at everything he does. Everything. I connect with him. I understand him.
And I haven't seen that movie in too long. It's literally been 25, 30 years since I watched that movie.
In much the same way, The Last Jedi is a story entirely about failure. Every plot arc in that movie is a failure.
Yeah. Indy failed with friends. Indy failed with lovers. Indy failed with saving the treasures. Oh,
he got away from the Rolling Rocks, though.
Well,
something I've been trying to do since I turned 21.
He succeeded at not dying. That was it.
Yeah.
All right. I just have to read the part of the description of this judge game because it's too good. Build your judge. Enter Edinburgh. Get out alive. Judge is a lawful but awful rogue hate top-down shooter where you get to build your own cybernetic judge and eradicate crime in the never-sleeping mega city of Edinburgh. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was playing this, the only thing that I kept thinking about, Mark, was Judge Dredd.
Yeah,
I don't think that's an accident.
Yeah.
Okay. It ain't just me.
All right, Eric. One more, or empty your tank, or do whatever.
All right, I got to bring this one. This is a game called Drive Ahead Beta by Dude Dreams Limited. This is rated E for everyone, though. Yeah, I don't know, maybe, I guess. It is got 4.5.
We didn't bring this.
Man, maybe we did. The name is a play on words.
I've definitely seen this.
Have you?
Yeah, I think Ivor brought it.
All right. I probably got it from him. Did you look it up yet?
No, I'm slow. I'm in the process.
I'll look. Okay, I'll let you. Anyway, if you may have heard this before.
$4.95 email Joe.
$4.95.
Yep.
Okay.
How quickly you forget. Only 10.
Anyway, this is a 1v1 driving game where basically you want to land on the other driver's head. And then
Joust, but in cars.
Yeah, red versus blue vehicles, and you score first one to 5 wins. It was fun. It's 32-bit for Door, but he's already seen it. So,
well, as long as you had fun, Eric. I mean, that's the point, right?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I guess I could empty my tank. I'll throw these other two out here. This is another game. It's called Family Guy, another freaking mobile game by Jam City Inc. This takes all the fun of Family Guy and puts it into a Bejeweled. And that's what this game is. It's got some jokes and some cutscenes and things with Bejeweled. And it's instead of jewels, you're doing beer bottles and condoms. So that's a theme maybe for me today.
Good, clean fun. Oh wait,
it's clean. You know, I never knew about the Family Guy until I was a youth leader at a church. The kids all introduced me to it.
Surely I'm not the first guy to notice that he has testicles on his face, right?
Surely you're not.
Okay, yeah. So my next app is a useful app if you live in Virginia, which I don't. But I'm thinking, you know, all the trends start on the West Coast and work their way east. This may be an anomaly to that hypothesis because this is the Notarize app. I am personally a notary, and people have to come to my office to watch me let me watch them sign documents. And then I say, hey, yeah, that's actually the person who signed it. They've got a notary, it's called Notarize app, and it will allow you to, over your smartphone, get something notarized. You just got to show them your ID.
Okay, you put in a link to a search.
Oh, here, I'll give you. I'm sorry.
Notary Act.
I got you. No, it's this one right here. It is Notarize by Notarize Incorporated. Rated E for everyone. 4.1 reviews, 4.1 average reviews, and it's been installed about 5,000 times.
So is it only good in the state of Virginia?
This app is only good in the state of Virginia,
Oh.
but I give them kudos for being there, for doing it first. I think there's no reason why this can't go all over the place.
Lorenzo Polacco comments, awesome. And Notarize Inc. says, you're awesome.
Notarize did? That's awesome. That is. See, these are, yeah.
This is an app that I brought on $4.98.
What did I?
Yes, and I'll just let you know. You go back and listen to that show. You completely talk down about the app, and
so were both of these apps from the same?
No, one was $4.95, one was $4.98.
Wow,
I didn't realize this was only in Virginia.
Where am I going?
I don't
know how this happens. Those two apps, I didn't remember at all. The one with the new app every day, I definitely looked that up. I had no idea that these would be there. All right, maybe I'm gonna have to change my my feeds. They got tainted.
Or you can just go down to the UPS store.
Yeah.
To get notarized?
Yeah. Every UPS store that I've ever been in has a notary.
We don't have a UPS store.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's good to see that even after that many episodes, it's still being updated. So, door, empty your tank. I'm out.
You sure you don't want to bring anything else, Eric?
Yeah, maybe I could bring another one from the closet, from the attic.
Yeah.
Wow.
This
new game called Angry Birds.
Yeah.
Really, it's taking the nation by storm.
If you got a wine bottle and you got a smartphone and you want to see somebody talk, Ivor in the chat room says maybe early onset dementia. That could be. Maybe that's why they had such a long discussion about me today at work.
Oh.
Okay, Dor, just wave at me when you're done with this one. I'm going to unplug my headphones. I cannot hear about another game from Noodle Cake.
Okay. Well, if it makes you feel any better, they only are the publisher. They didn't make this game. It's called Lichtspeer, Lichtspeer. Noodle Cake, 73 reviews, T for teen, $3.99 to buy, 4.7 average reviews, 62 5-star reviews.
Go ahead, Mark.
44 megs, 500 plus installs, updated March 29th, 2018, current version 1.1.3. This has been on many platforms. It's right now coming around to Android. And I do believe it also came out on Nintendo Switch last week too, and it's been on PC and Steam for a while. This is kind of like Angry Birds plus violence, I guess, or more violence, and it has bosses and stuff in it. If you liked at all the mechanics in Angry Birds, this is the game for you, is what I'll say. I didn't like Angry Birds. I respected the mechanics in it, but I didn't like the game. I played this for 30 seconds and I said, I have to uninstall this game.
Crap. I watched the video. It's all over now. Once I saw Das Walrus, I was in. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good
skater walrus. Walrus on skates. Oh.
And I'll say this, it is not an easy game, Mark. This is not easy. This is difficult, but this is fun as hell. Okay, Don't Starve is another game that I bought on Steam, played on even Chrome OS. It's coming out on the Switch next week. I'm gonna end up buying that one too. I'm now convinced I'm going to never leave my Switch home. I'm gonna take it to work every day and play it during the break. Force my oldest son to either buy a Switch or get the hell off of mine.
Yeah, this game looks great.
Well, I'm not going to bring anything else in. I can't beat it.
All right. And just as the guy in the tub gets here, it's time for us to say goodbye.
Well, hopefully he's got some good show names for us in the 5 seconds he's been in here.
Yeah, Ivor says they had me at Achtung. I feel the same way. Lichtspeer means light spear, and you're throwing a spear made of light. So it's the most obscure and yet most obvious name for the game possible. It's beautiful.
It is, and this is the kind of graphic style that I'm just completely enamored with.
If you liked Thor Ragnarok, you'll like this game.
I guess I like Thor Ragnarok. I didn't even know it. Wait, I didn't see it. That's why.
All right, so let me read back to you the game, the apps for the night. Reboot, Overcome Porn by Reboot Your Life. Coding Planets by Minthura Zaw. Salt by Salt Studios. Play something new every day. 3-word photo by What 3 Words. Judge by 10 Tons Limited. 10 Tons Limited. Drive Ahead Beta by Do Dreams Limited. Family Guy, another freaking mobile game by Jam City Inc. Notarize by Notarize Inc. And Lichtspeer by Noodle Cake Studios Inc. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we need one more. My OCD will not allow us to stop at 9. We need one more app.
Okay. This is another game. Very interesting art style. If you haven't tell by now, people, I'm into different styles of games, at least visual, graphical. 99 cents for this game. It's called Old Man's Guilt by Younging Song. Adventure game, E for everyone, 7 reviews, 99 cents to buy, 4.0 average reviews, 4 5-star reviews, updated April 5th, 2018, 50 installs, current version 1.3.2. Basically just launched. It's a puzzle type game where you have to navigate around and avoid things. I'm not sure why it's called Old Man's Guilt. But what I will say, the graphical environments are, while they have the same style throughout, they are very diverse and very different action scenes happen. To me, a very interesting directed game.
It looks really slow in the video.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of different things going on though. I like it for your kind of game. It's pretty cool. I mean, no offense, but
none taken.
Yeah. Oh, I hope you find out why it's this guilt. And why Mark can't you let us end on 9 games or 9 apps? I mean,
It's just
what's wrong with 9?
It's not a prime. It's not even. It's not 10.
It's a Beatles song.
Can't do it. Sorry.
Oh, Eric, I love you. Worst song they've ever done.
No, you just haven't listened to it in the right way.
Oh no.
What substance does he need to be on to listen to it for the right way, Eric?
I don't know. I'm just it's neat. It's a neat song. You got to have headphones on, preferably if they work in stereo. That's pretty cool.
I have listened to it like that, and the whole time I'm listening to it, I'm thinking, what in the hell drug were they on when they did this song?
Pink Floyd's got a song that's similar. It's called Several Species of Small Furry Animals Gathered Together in a Cave and Grooving with a Pig. That one is a lot like it. It's a stereophonic 70s experience.
I don't even know how to follow that up. So I'm just going to say, if you would like to hear more about small animals in stereo, you need to support the show by going to patreon.com/Android App Addict. Stand up and be counted. Count yourself among those who support excellent programming, excellent commercial-free programming, by the way. Patreon.com/Android App Addicts. Throw us a buck. You'll be glad you did. Eric Dorr, what are your final words of wisdom for the night?
I just want to thank everybody for listening and sticking with us through repeat apps. I'll do better next week.
I was going to say, support those who support you, and do not forget elementop.com. Check that out. Good show, good people.
Yeah, I know those guys. They're good people. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you later. That's it for this episode of the Android App Addicts podcast. Bye now.
I hope you have a YouTube stream. My computer froze, I think. Wait, let me do this test. What time are you guys at on your Audacity right now?
122:04.
Oh, good. Okay. No, we should be good then. I don't know what was going on. It was weird. I thought it was just my Hangouts, but then I saw my Audacity wasn't moving either. But
yeah, my Audacity crashed, so I'll be on my backup recording. But my Audacity crashes every other show, so it's nothing new.
Did that download?
I have not had the time.
And that's honestly what I figured, because he asked me what the answer was, and I said TBD.
Yeah. All right. I think I've got a good intro for us tonight.
Cool.
Tonight on a very special episode of Android App Addicts. Let me do it again. Tonight on can't do it.
It's not meant to be.
Tonight on a very special episode of Android App Addicts, Eric talks about both drugs and porn and how to get over them.
That's where I was worried you were going. So that's why I said it was not meant to be. That's cool. No, we're good. I didn't tell anybody how to get over drugs, though.
Oh.
We just told you to get over it.
Yeah. Do a podcast if you want to get over drugs. That's how I beat it.
I don't understand how people have time to do drugs.
Thank you.
Clearly, they don't have jobs and families.
Well, when you do drugs, time changes, man. It adds like hours when you think it's hours, but it's only minutes. So you actually end up having like 28-hour days instead of 24.
So you're saying I need to do drugs. Got it. I ain't got no time.
I'm not pushing it on nobody.
I'm definitely time poor.
Well, that was weird.
Right.
Oh, Mark must have unplugged his filter.
I plugged in my USB device.
Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll is the show title for Ivor. That
works.
That does. That might be. That sounds pretty good, actually.
Line Women in Song.
Save project as 504. Is that right?
504. What was the rock and roll part?
The Pink Floyd and Beatles.
Oh yeah, you did mention that. Yeah. And in that order too, I think maybe. Okay, so that is that.
I never mentioned drugs. It was inferred by you guys, I think. I just appreciate music.
Oh my goodness.
Reminds me of a song lyric. Wine and women, silver and gold. I want it all. It's mine to hold.
Crikey.
Matter door.
When I was really young, had really sensitive skin. It comes and goes now, where I wear the wrong deodorant. And damn, if I don't break out like a rash, it hurts.
I would keep one flavor of deodorant then.
I go back and forth between two brands for that very reason.
Yeah, it changes, so I gotta keep flip flopping.
Because the bacteria apparently will get used to the one brand if you use it all the time, and you stink anyway.
I've used the same brand of deodorant for I gotta say 35 years now. Probably since I was 10.
That's what the meeting was about.
Exactly. Oh,
good point.
Wow. I'll just say
Oh
you're
no.
lucky.
I'll just say Eric's got a lot more podcasting time suddenly. Can I fill in on the mini PC show, dude? Are we good? Oh no. Can I hey, Element Opie, hey, yeah, I'll be everywhere, man. I'll be back on that British phone podcast again.
Podcast is dead.
You got to come hang out with us.
I'll bring it back.
Some night, Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel weird when I stray away from my Podnutz home, man. The times that I've left, it's uncomfortable.
Nah, it's a healthy thing. Healthy thing. Keeps you grounded.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much while we're live about my external podcast.
Alrighty, I'll cut the stream.
No, that's cool. I don't. There's not much of a story, really.
Too late. I already said it, which means if I don't do it, you're going to say something you regret. And all right, thanks everybody.